Hey y'all, it's my review for the Real Housewives of Miami Season 5 Reunion Part 3. We are at the conclusion. Now I did a little poll on my YouTube asking y'all which review y'all wanted first, like the last part of the Miami reunion or Jersey. And y'all chose Miami, so here we are. So the episode starts where we left off with Kiki saying that she knows models that Lisa's husband has messed around with. And Lisa, she doesn't seem really flabbergasted. She says, well, hearing that, that makes sense now. Like, she's really had her head in the sand, and I really think she knew he was messing around. Because it seems like the only reason they're not together now is he's not giving her the choice to put up with his infidelity. He wants a divorce, and he wants to move on. Oh, Kiki. I mean, she reminds me of Portia just a little bit, where she'll say something profound one minute and something so stupid that it's funny. So the next messy question for Lisa is, why does she allow these parties to go on at her house, which were basically speed dating sessions for her cheating ass husband? She's saying that she never liked the parties, but her husband tended to gaslight her and make her feel like she was the one that had the problem with it, like it was something she should worry about. And I can see that from her perspective. I mean, along with being the breadwinner, he was controlling, manipulative, a liar, and she just maintained her rose-colored glasses. So now we're hearing about the ladies on the cast and how they just came through for Lisa in her time of need. She says this was like the darkest period in her life. And then she says out of all the ladies, Larsa stepped up the most and even appeared in trial for her because the mistress put a restraining order against Lisa. I mean, look, you in my house, effing my ex, and then you around my kids, you're probably gonna need a restraining order against me. But Larsa helped her get the restraining order dropped. Side note, I'm not sure who's doing most of the ladies' makeup, or maybe it's the fact that they all have work done in their face, but like the highlighter contouring right here is just so noticeable. So they switch gears and they're talking about the gringo dinner now. And Andy asked Alexia, did anyone in her family have a problem with her dating outside her race? They're gonna keep saying gringo instead of white, but she says, oh, well, my mom actually encouraged it. See, that's because my last two marriages failed because I didn't marry a gringo. Does she realize what she's saying? That her marriages didn't work out because she wasn't married to a white man. Like, if a black woman said that, oh my God, Twitter would explode. I don't know, I don't like this segment. And Marisol's talking about it too, like, oh, I'm so happy. Okay, y'all happy that y'all married to white men. Good for y'all. As they continue talking about the Ringo dinner, Andy's asking Alexia, has her husband and Nicole's husband, have they gotten along since? And Alexia brings up that she saw them at a restaurant recently, and I think they got into it. She's calling her man Antonia, and now Larsa's trying to jump in and say, yeah, Anthony's a bitch or whatever. If y'all saw on TikTok, Alexia's husband gave a very, very long apology to Anthony. And I was so confused by that. But then it looked like it was almost like a court-ordered apology, like almost like a cease and desist. And I was thinking, did Anthony pressure to sue Alexia's husband? And that's why he gave that long-ass weird apology on TikTok? I was like, you know what? They are made for each other because that was petty. So it's nice that they got the last tee-hee-hee. Andy then moves on though when all the women start to dogpile on Nicole because look, she's the threat. Anyway, they then get to I think Larsa's braids or whatever, which I thought was just, she looked silly in them, and he was asking her, do you think that's culturally inappropriate? And she said, well, I'm not white. And I'm like, well, you ain't black either. And then she tries to bring in her kids, who are mixed. She's like, well, my kids, they get their hair braided, every 4 days or whatever. And I'm like, well, your kids are technically black or mixed with black, so yeah, I can understand that. But look, continue to rock those braids like Jen Shaw did. Look, these black by injection chicks, you can't tell them nothing. So now they're talking about a couple instances that happened on the cast trip. They're starting with Kiki, who was getting a little bit too into the screaming session. I remember that was a funny episode. She said she was just fully embracing the exercise, and then she brings up the fact that she's a single mom. She has 2 kids. I would love to know Kiki's background. Maybe they didn't make her an official housewife because she's not rich. But yeah, she says, she's still modeling, and sometimes where there's 3-4 months where you don't get any work, so that's stressful. So that's why she was screaming to the high heavens. While Mama Elsa on Miami must have been just quite the presence because she is always mentioned in Miami. For the OG Miami watchers, let me know in the comments, was Mama Elsa really like that much of a presence on the earlier seasons of Miami? Because every time they bring her up, it seemed like she was that girl. So now we're talking about why Marisol threw the stones away that was a gift from Adriana and Julia. She's saying it didn't really matter who it was from. She's just a superstitious person in general. That's another awkward moment though where Marisol says, well, Julia would never put a spell on me. I wouldn't think that. And then Adriana, she interjects and says, well, you said that about me. And Marisol's like, well, you're Brazilian. What? Like, we saw Gertie's mouth drop. I said the same thing. And then she mentioned, well, it's because of Bruero, which I think means witch in Brazilian. Like, she attaches it to her culture, and that's why? Isn't that offensive, y'all? Brazilians in the chat, are y'all offended? Oops, so they're bringing up Mama Elsa again, and apparently 10 years ago, she told Andy live that he would never be fulfilled with love, like from somebody. He would never find love. 10 years later, it looks like she was right. I mean, hey, knowing Andy's dating practices, I'm not surprised. Aw, so Kiki's leaving, but Andy sends her off with a burger from Burger King. And then Julia, I'm thinking she about to start some shit with Kiki before she leaves, but she actually does the opposite. You know, she said that she's sorry that she didn't invite her to her party after she threatened to sue Adriana if she was seen in the video. And she says maybe she overreacted, so she gives Kiki a hug and says that maybe her and Martina can all go out together. That was nice, Julia. But it would have been 10 times better if it was a fight. Ooh, speaking of burgers, I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna make myself a burger. So now we're with Gertie as she's in the hot seat, but so far we're just hearing how much of a bad bitch she is because of her career as a wedding planner. She's like super successful at it. And the fact that she says she went down from doing 15 weddings to only 5 a year, like she can live off of just doing 5 weddings a year. Boss bitch. They're not talking about her marriage to her fine white husband and how she actually, you know, hear his needs. And if it wasn't for the show, she probably wouldn't have heard that from him. So things are going well for her. I am a little bit nervous that they may demote Gertie because just everything just seems so fine with her. And, you know, she's only good with the group. Like outside of that, like her scenes are a little boring. I do love her dynamic with the group though, but that can still be in a friend capacity. So we'll see next season. Oh, and here we go. I'm guessing this is the meat and potatoes of part 3. It's Alexia versus Adriana because of that stupid comparison she made about Frankie. So they start with Marisol first, and when she said she talked to her ex and said that he will never love you. 5 years later. Adriana knows she told that to Marisol to hurt her. She didn't say that to prove her loyalty. Just like Andy said, like, how did you think she was gonna react to that? We haven't even gotten to the Frankie part yet, but it just seems like Adriana was clearly in the wrong in these 2 situations. So the only way they can move forward is if Alexia and Marisol are willing to forgive her. If not, then it's a lost cause. Because already Alexia tells her the reason why I didn't want to meet with you because I think you're fake. They're going back and forth now, calling each other fakes and frauds. Andy tries to ask Alexia a question, but Adriana's still like arguing with her. Larsa jumps in and is like, be quiet, shut up. Adriana then tells Larsa to be quiet, not everything is about you. Larsa says, everything is about me, shut up. This even makes Andy laugh. Good job, moderator. This is too much. Alexia then brings up some old shit that happened in the earlier seasons I don't know anything about, but apparently Adriana was still married or something like that. So now she keeps trying to ask her, were you married? Were you married? I'm guessing it was true because Adriana wasn't answering the question. So then Andy wants to know because he's just messy. So he's like, Adriana, like, can you answer the question? She's ignoring Andy, I think purposely, as she's still arguing with Alexia. She tells Alexia, you're not the boss of me, I have to answer that. Then Andy says, well, I'm the boss of you. Can you please answer the question? Does Andy not like Adriana? But yeah, they still going at it back and forth. Andy's like, okay. So now there's finally order. And Andy asks her the question, were you married? The way she answered Andy, like she had to think about it. You could see her processing it in her head. Then she says, of course not. She's lying. So now we're finally getting to the Frankie comparison situation. China already arguing about Adriana'S ankle injury. She's saying it was blue. They're saying it wasn't blue the next day. Now you have like side 1 versus side 2. And he's like, okay. You can tell they were probably at the 11th hour of taping and people were just ready to go, especially Andy. I just realized I didn't talk about the part where Alexia told Adriana, keep my family's name out your fucking mouth. I was like, Alexia. I would have been like, Sheree, what you gonna do? What are you going to do? I just couldn't believe she was quoting Will Smith, that's all. So we're finally getting to talk about what Adriana said, and now it looks like they're all just trying to make excuses for what she said. Like, I honestly thought she was just trying to be a bitch and get under Alexia's skin, and it worked. But now you have Nicole saying that it looked like she was in a trance. She didn't know what she was saying. Maybe she was having like a mini panic attack. She didn't realize it until they told her what she said. And she was really sorry about it. I don't know. What y'all think? Like, I think I would still be like Alexia. Just own it. Like, you were trying to hurt me and we can move on. And then you got Julie with this excuse. What's one thing that we all have that Adriana doesn't? We all have somebody that love us. Again, that's not an excuse. Like, and then Gertie chimes in, she's in a dark place mentally. I don't know, I'm just not buying it. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll rent it, but I'm not buying it. Oh my God. So Marisol, she's not buying the BS, especially when Adriana says that she was in a dark place mentally. Marisol then says, yeah, you are dark, as a dig. So then now they're going back and forth, and then Adriana tells you know what, Marisol, I'm not even going to take heart to what you're saying because you're unwell. The look on Andy's face. That was some good shade. I didn't expect that. And we all know what she means when she says unwell. That's what made the shade so good. So things get even more wackier when Adriana throws abuse allegations at Marisol, and the person wrote her a note and she gives it to Andy. Don't know who this person is. It's just a mystery person. She could have wrote that note herself. But as Andy's reading, it's like, Dear Adriana, I'm writing to let you know that I'm being abused by Marisol. It's almost every day. It has to be a joke. It has to be. Oh my God. The person in the letter even says she might kill me. But then she signs it as Marisol's liver. As a joke. Really, girl? Everyone is just like, what the fuck? Adriana then gets up and hands her some paper, and it's rehab locations. Oh my God, now she's accusing Alexia of enabling her. It's going off the rails, and I think it's because they're at the 11th hour, y'all. She said, I'm not judging, I'm offering help. She might have guaranteed her spot next season with that stunt. Yeah, Adriana may be a sociopath, and she absolutely said those things to Alexia and Marisol to hurt them. Child, we got 11 more minutes. What else are they going to talk about? Because they're playing games now. So Andy then decides, after that stunt she pulled, it's clear that their relationships are over, so he moves on. So now we're talking about Alexia and her son Frankie, and I will say that's the only time that she comes off redeemable, and they're talking about all the tragic things that happened in her life, that she has never had therapy. Andy, as well as the women on the cast, are recommending that. I remember last season, I really liked Alexia, and I was like, man, this woman is strong. For all this shit that she's going through in life, who put a curse on her? I just want to see this woman win. Okay, so it makes sense now. She says that her mom was actually a psychiatrist, and she would be her therapist, which I guess counts. They're not talking about Alexia's other son, Peter, the one who likes to beat up homeless people, and he also got a charge for beating up his girlfriend. Her relationship with him, and it turns out he's not with the girl anymore. She's very excited for that. Andy then asks Adriana her opinion on the matter, and then it turns into her apologizing to Marisol as well as Adriana. She's just like, please, baby, please, baby, please, I'm sorry, I regret it. This is a whole 180, I guess. Give her the Academy Award now. Andy's trying to mediate by saying, can you all just say something nice about each other? Adriana's pouring her heart out, and then it's Alexia's turn to say something nice about Adriana. She says, I love her song. And that's enough. That's all I needed to hear. But then she says, More so like, I just hope you find like the light you need or something. That didn't sound like she wanted to be friends with her again. That sounded like I wish you well, bitch. As the conversation goes on though, it looks like Alexia and Marisol kind of leave the door just a little bit open for friendship with Adriana. Just a little bit. And Andy ends it there. And then Gertie brings up, well, Nicole and Larsa. Like, you know, can y'all not bring up the past either? They both agree on it, and Andy's happy. There's a kumbaya mood. But I think everyone's just saying what they gotta say so they can get the fuck home. So now Andy's doing his usual final thoughts around the cast, like what were their most positive moments of the season, blah, blah, blah. The only thing interesting so far, Adriana actually made that track with Emilio Estefan. A lot of y'all in my last video was like, oh, that's Gloria Estefan's husband. I was still getting Harvey Weinstein vibes. I was like, why is he helping this woman who obviously can't sing that well? What is he trying to get out of this? Maybe he was trying to get with her. But yeah, I didn't know who he was. But she said she made a track with him, and maybe she'll have a Latin tardy for the party for herself. Okay, so everyone says their final thoughts. My thoughts were pretty few for that segment, but then they bring out Bahama Mamas for everybody to toast to. Larsa leads the toast, and yeah, that was the season 5 reunion. Those Bahama Mamas look good. I kind of want to get a drink after this. This was a really good season. A lot of the other franchises can learn from Miami. Miami also needs to stay on Peacock. I want it with that Peacock budget, you know, the production, everything. It's fine where it is. Do not put this on Bravo. I also think the cast should stay the same, even though I really want to learn more about Kiki. Maybe they could bump her position up. But yeah, this franchise has the other girls on notice. They did it right. I give overall the season as well as the reunion an A. It's been a while since I felt that way about the season and the reunion for a franchise. So good job, ladies, and congrats to getting season 6. And y'all let me know what y'all thought about the season, this reunion as a whole in the comments. With that, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye.